that's big pimpin'. My potential, that's infinite. Pin game insane. Make hits like King Griffin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 10th inning podcast. This is a small milestone for us, but a milestone nonetheless. I am, as always, Sean. He's Dan, and he is out of this world.
Out of this world, just like some of the awards given out. I'm not a fan of a lot of them. You're going to hear me disagree on, I would say, 85% of the awards given out today.
We love that. We absolutely love that. We embrace debate.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, it's award season, and we're just going to jump right into it. So I'm going to let you decide, Dan. What award would you like to tackle first?
Sure. So just so the fans know what they're getting into today, we are going to go over, or at least I'm going to go over, every single award given out this year. Okay, every one. You talk about reliever of the year, manager of the year, everyone, every Gold Glove, every one. But now, so this is, you're going to get a lot of information here, so be ready. This is the place for baseball information. The place.
The place.
I'd like to start out with Gold Gloves.
I was thinking the same thing.
Now, do you want to go position by position in both leagues, or do you want to go one league?
You know, let's go one league. Okay. Do you want me to read out? Do you want me to read out starting at?
One league, yeah. One league. So the new album coming out soon. Like One League, One League.
That was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, let's start out. I guess if we're doing Gold Gloves, I can read out each position in each league, and then we can give our thoughts on it if that works for you.
Sounds beautiful, Shawnee.
All right, let's start over at catcher. So in the American League, from the Oakland A's, is catcher Sean Murphy, and then over in the National League, from the Pirates, is catcher Jacob Stallings.
That's correct.
Do you have any opinions on this one?
Oh, I got some opinions.
Oh, let's go.
One of these catchers is actually one of the only positions I thought had deserved it. Sean Murphy winning the AL Gold Glove, but that was fair.
Yeah.
He had a very good year. NL, frankly, I think my boy Omar Narvaez is snubbed. I think he was a little bit snubbed. Again, I'm going to come at you with some advanced metrics. Jacob Stallings had two, basically runs prevented or runs saved based on extra pitches he was getting called off the strike zone, which was 17th, and Omar had 10, which was first in all of MLB, not only the National League, and pretty far and away with that. He's also had well known as the eye test, had a great defensive year. Omar did, as well as a decent offensive year. Stallings is a very, it's tough. I think he's known in the league as a defensive catcher for sure. He had a good year. He works well with his pitchers. Yeah, but I've never heard anything bad about Omar as far as hearsay, and also the metrics completely back him up being the best catcher last year. That's my take.
That is a wonderful take. That really is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if this is just the appetizer to the entree, then we're going to get really far into it.
Oh, it's going to get bad, yeah.
Oh, baby. Yeah. So let's move on to first base. Now, from America's team, the Houston Astros in the American League, Yuli Gurriel takes home the Gold Glove. And then from the National League, from the St. Louis Cardinals, is none other than Paulie Goldschmidt.
Which one do you want to disagree with first?
Let's start with Yuli, because I don't agree with that one either, to be honest with you.
What do you got?
I don't know if I necessarily have a player that can slide right into that slot. Okay. But I just have never really thought of Yuli Gurriel as much of a first baseman. I believe when he first came into the league from Cuba, he was a third baseman. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I think that maybe this is a sign of the defense in the American League particularly is not as good as it has been in years past. But I just don't think Yuli as a defensive first baseman. I think more of a guy with pop, and he's on the field more for his offense than his defense. That's just my take on that one.
I don't disagree. Yuli played it is a factor of there's not a lot of good AL first basemen,
Yeah.
and I think it came down a lot to games played, and I completely understand that argument. Like if you're gonna tell me Yuli's with the guy who played the most games at first, not a lot of the guys really even quote unquote qualified, you can beat me with that argument. I get it. The guy that I isolated that I thought was better had to be Yandy Diaz. I mean, Yandy Diaz, 2 runs prevented to Yuli's third 0. I'm sorry, to Yuli's 0. 3 outs above average to Yuli's 0. Had a 68% success rate and had a better success rate added, which means he got to more goals than Yuli did. But he only played 81 games at first. So I think Yandy Diaz was a better fielding first baseman. You wouldn't think of that either, though, because he doesn't look like one. However, Yuli played more games, so I get it in a sense.
Yeah, I agree with you there as well.
Yuli was just about average. He did not benefit or hurt his team whatsoever. Like he was not a good fielder. He was just a fielder. He was out there.
Well, I think we see here as first base a lot of times position you just kind of stick your slugger. If they can't not agree fielder, you know it is what it is. So I feel like that's kind of what we see here. Not saying Yuli can't field, not saying that at all. Yeah. But I think there are better defensive first basemen out there, or at least there should be.
Right.
Now, over in the National League, we got Paul Goldschmidt, who I'm not sure how many Gold Gloves he's won in his career, but he's won a few. He's well-known first baseman, both for his defense and offense. What do you feel about him getting that award?
You know, Sean, I got a different guy there. I don't think it's much bias, but I think Max Muncy should have taken it home. He had a pretty full slate of games at first base. He had 122. Goldschmidt had 153. I think at 122, I don't get the argument anymore. I think we're there. Yeah. Muncy was first in runs prevented. Goldschmidt was second. So Muncy had 5, Goldschmidt had 4. Muncy was first in outs above average. Goldschmidt was second. Muncy was first in success rate. Goldschmidt was 9th. Muncy was first in success rate added. Goldschmidt was second. Very close race. It seems like it came down to games, but I think Muncy was just clearing away the better fielder. However, Goldschmidt did play the position a little bit more, and it was close. It's not like Muncy blew him out of the water. They were 1 and 2 in a lot of categories.
Yeah.
So if you're going to say that Goldschmidt was more of a primary first baseman, I get you, but the Dodgers don't have a primary anything. So
that's true. Dave doesn't believe in that.
Right. I would have liked to see Muncy win, but I get it to a degree.
What about Freddie?
You know, Freddie didn't stand out as like having great metrics, but I know personally he's a wonderful fielder.
He's someone who passed the eye test.
100%.
He makes some really, really solid plays over there at first base.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys, maybe the metrics don't back up, but the eye test tells you otherwise.
And they might have, I don't have it fresh in my head how good his metrics were. I was just looking for the best or the next best at each position.
Absolutely.
So he could have been third and I wouldn't remember.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to second base. I had him at shortstop in our ranking of shortstops last week, but Marcus Semien won the Gold Glove for the Blue Jays at second base in the American League. And over in the National League, second baseman Tommy Edman won it for the Cardinals.
Yep.
Opinions.
Tommy Edman, probably the first one I don't disagree with whatsoever. It's not even fair. It's absolutely correct. Tommy Edman was the Gold Glove Award winner in the NL for sure. 10 runs prevented, 13 outs above average. The next were 7 and 9. So he had a great year. We're talking the league wide, by the way, with those stats. And then we got Marcus Jizz coming in for the AL. I don't agree here. I do not agree. Marcus Semien has improved so much with his defense.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember being a defensive stalwart in his career.
No, he was a defensive liability just 2 years ago. He has improved. I appreciate him getting the award for the improvement. But the 7 and 9 that we just referenced is a guy named David Fletcher playing 142 games to Marcus's 147, getting 7 runs prevented, 9 outs above average, and 2% success rate added. when Marcus was at 5'7" and 1.
Yeah.
I think David Fletcher is also just the eye test a much better second baseman.
Hmm.
And I think he certainly deserved it. I think this was a case of a lot of hype, I guess. Marco
Yeah.
Simeon hit well this year. I hate when that plays over into Gold Gloves. I think that's ridiculous. But I think David Fletcher certainly should have been the Gold Glove Award winner. Also, shout out to Ruben Odor with 6 runs
Mm,
presented and 8 outs above average and a 5% success rate added, which was the best in the league at second base. Not overall,
Rudy.
his metrics weren't as good as Fletcher, but honestly, if he would have won it over Marcus, I wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, Fletcher was the guy I kind of thought was going to win it.
Yeah.
But hey, we don't get a vote, and that's a damn shame. Maybe soon enough. You guys keep watching and getting our views up. Well, you never know how far we'll go. All right, so let's move on to third base, and this is an award that went to high school teammates. Matt Chapman of the A's won it from the American League, and in the National League, Nolan Arenado of the Cardinals won it. Now that was a heck of a high school baseball team right there.
Who's playing third? God, I mean that's.
I think Arenado was a little bit older, so I think he got the seniority.
Nod,
But
yeah.
boy, oh boy.
What did you have any opinions on that? Like or dislike?
I like him. I do. Chapman, he's a player I always liked. He makes some outstanding plays at third. Very Manny Machado like was those plays over the line, heading away from the field of play. His offense struggled this year, but I guess in this case we didn't see the offense bleed in over into it, the voting. And then Nolan Arenado in the National League. I feel like what else can we say about Arenado? As far as his defense goes, an absolute stud. Those aren't stats I'm throwing your way there, but they absolutely passed the eye test.
100%. Chapman, no doubt about it, was the best fielding third baseman. Arenado, for his games played, was the best fielding third baseman. But by the way, I'm saying that, you can tell I'm probably going to have an issue with the Platinum Glove. I don't think he was the best fielder. Well, just want to give a shout out here. I can't make the argument he should have won it because he only played 95 games. But Brian Hayes, I think this is the last year Nolan Arenado is going to win a Gold Glove in the National League, believe it or not. And he's won them a long time in a row. Brian Hayes prevented 10 runs and had 13 outs above average with a 4% success rate added in 95 games. Nolan finished the year with 8 runs prevented and 10 outs above average with a 2 success rate added. So Brian Hayes, and these are like cumulative, put up better numbers in significantly less games. And we saw it when he came up. I mean, last year his offense was crazy, for a little spurt, but he was he is a solid defender. I think Brian Hayes wins the Gold Glove the next 3 years. Book it.
He's going to be a really good player.
Make sure you bet on that, guys. And
Yeah.
send me half when he wins the next year.
Absolutely. All right, so let's move on to shortstop. And boy, I know you're going to be real happy about both these winners. From the American League, none other than America's team once again, the Houston Astros, Carlos Correa. And the National League, none other than Brandon Crawford from the San Francisco Giants, 2 of Dan's favorite teams as well as favorite players on those teams, right?
That's right. And I'm happy to be able to say I think these were 2 of the biggest misses, okay? 100% 2 of the biggest misses. I was hoping to God I could find that these were wrong, and they were. One of the guys I found was wrong. I didn't love it. Brandon Crawford, always known as a good defender, I think but it's been even in baseball culture known the last couple of years have been down. He's not the same defender he used to be. He's 34 years old. Used to be the best for sure. Could have won Platinum
Especially
Glove.
a shortstop. That's a tough position to play and you're getting older.
But he's not as good as he used to be, 100%. And the metrics back it up. He had a good year. He was an above average shortstop this year. But he was nowhere near as good, and I don't want to get nauseous here, as the Mets' Francisco Lindor. In a very similar amount of games, 124 to 135. Crawford was 135. Lindor's got 15 runs prevented, one of the best in the league, 20 outs above average, and a 5% success rate added. And Brandon Crawford's got 11 runs prevented, 15 outs above average, and a 3 success rate. It's not close. I really don't think it was close whatsoever. Lindor was the clear-cut Gold Glove shortstop in the National League and one of the best defenders in all of baseball this season. That's what I got. How do you feel as a fan watching him? Do the metrics back up how his play looked? Did he look good or not?
I'd say so. I mean, it brought a little tear to my eye that you gave props to any Mets player.
Of course, yeah.
But initially in the year, as the year started, he struggled on defense as well as offense. But as he got much better, and there's definitely a high level of comfort with him back there. That I think you get more than you have with Crawford.
And I think sometimes I'm an eye test guy. You know, I'm old school like you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to break into these new stats and get everyone to at least understand them. But I think one place where the eye test can fail you a little bit is routine plays. I'm doing air quotes here. It's hard to tell something in the universe. But like, a ball hit 5 feet or 5 feet to your left or right. Lindor might make that play look routine and not struggle whatsoever, but it's not. Do you know what I mean? Like Crawford would never get there, and maybe it doesn't look like he sucks just because he doesn't even have a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the Robbie Cano effect right there. Everybody thought he was just taking his time on turning double plays, but no, he was just that good.
Right. Like Lindor will get to balls that Crawford would never get to, and maybe he'll miss balls closer that Crawford wouldn't miss, but because Crawford would be 10 feet away and it wouldn't look like he missed it. You know what I mean? So I think Lindor was far in the AL. Thought Lindor was a fucking snub. I mean, this is the worst call I've ever seen in my life. Correa is a good defender. I'm not out here to bash Correa's defense. I'd love to. Decent defender. But Nicky Lopez, I mean, should have won the Platinum Glove Award. Not even the only other person who's gonna. Well, we'll talk about it later. But Nicky Lopez in 143 games, 18 runs prevented, most in the league. 24 outs above average. 24 outs above average, most in the league. 5% success added, most in the league, I believe. Correa, 9 runs prevented, 12 outs above average, 2 success added. I mean, this is name brand. That is all this is. Yeah. Nicky Lopez prevented 18 runs this year, okay, with his defense. But far and away the best defender in the AL, unless there's one other person. Again, we'll get into that later. But certainly the best shortstop by far. I cannot believe, and this was one that a lot of the writers came out right away. We're talking about Nicky Lopez. Well, he got snubbed a little bit. He was the best fucking defender defensively, by metrics. And the eye test. And the eye test, he looked great too. Correa has a very strong arm. I get that. But Nicky Lopez was as good as it comes, babe. I don't get it.
I agree with you. And also, Carlos Correa, he may have endeared himself to me a little bit when he said that Derek Jeter didn't deserve any of the Gold Glove awards he got. Which I've been saying for years, he was a very much overrated defender.
Yeah, no, he was
very overrated.
He was.
But that's a story and an opinion for another day.
Right.
All right, moving on to left field. So, from the Kansas City Royals, Andrew Benintendi takes it. And then in the National League, from the St. Louis Cardinals, notice the theme here with the Cardinals, by the way, Tyler O'Neill takes it. Andrew Benintendi.
Andrew Benintendi. The National League, the left field was bad this year. I got to say, there weren't a lot of great competitors.
Yeah, you kind of get that left field and right field. You get some guys, you're like, I don't know if they should have won. But
and you'll hear it when you remember Nicky's 18 and 24. Just remember those 2 first numbers when I start reading the rest of these numbers. Tyler O'Neill, he did well. 2 runs prevented, 3 outs above average, 1% success rate added. Did fine. He should, believe it or not, he should have won the Gold Glove. Good defender. Nothing wrong with his defense. That means he's better than average, which is great. But shout out to Lewis Brinson, who I think wins next year. He had 3 runs prevented. And what'd you say?
I said Bryn Diesel.
Bryn Diesel, exactly. 3 runs presented, 3 outs above average in just 50 games. So that's just something to look for. He had a really good defensive season, obviously a short season. But that's like an offensive short sample size. You never know; it could break out next year. So look for Lewis Brinson to win Gold Glove next year. Book it. In
Heard it
the
here
AL,
first.
we got Benintendi. Zeros across the board. Every stat I've ever read to you got a zero. You can make the case for Verdugo, who had 1-1, but no one stands out. I'm not even going to make the case. I think Verdugo's a fantastic defender.
Yeah.
I never thought of him as I mean, he looked great in center field for Boston in certain situations. He looked great in left field as well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be upset about Benintendi winning, and just no one stood out.
Hey, watch out for Doogie. He's a stud.
Yeah,
Stud.
absolutely.
All right. So let's move to center field, where this one surprised me. If I'm got to be honest with you, the center fielder for the Kansas City Royals, who took home the Gold Glove, was Michael A. Taylor. Yes, the one that was on the Nationals for what seems like forever. And then in the National League, we have Harrison Bader of, once again, the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yep.
I didn't realize Michael A. Taylor was still playing until about midway through this year. He left the Nationals, and I kind of thought he just, I don't know, maybe went retired or whatnot. But I didn't realize he was that good of a defender. Props to him, though.
I did not either. I saw that he won, and I was like, well, he must be a good defender because it looks like every other player on here is an all-star.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, he certainly is. No doubt about it, he deserved it. 13 runs prevented, 14 outs above average, 4 success rate added. No one else was close. He was, other than maybe Nicky Lopez, who didn't win it, probably the furthest in a way, clear cut. Maybe Tommy Edman, Gold Glove Award winner, believe it or not. He really was heads and tails. And at center field is a very, very tough and important position. So that surprised me as well. And then Harrison Bader, first position we're going to agree with on both. He certainly deserved it. 12 runs prevented, 14 outs above average, 4 success rate added. He had a really great season, and the eye test certainly passes for him.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. No beef. I mean, when I saw Michael A. Taylor, I had to look at the stats and everything. Not that as advanced stats as you got, but
yeah,
I was surprised.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, what is up with the Cardinals? What are they feeding their players? I mean, my God, 5 Gold Glove players win a Gold Glove this year. I mean, my goodness. So let's move over to right field, another typical power position where you throw your maybe less defensively gifted players. And right field for the American League is none other than New York Yankee Joey Gallo. And then in the National League, we have Adam Duvall of the Braves. Even though he was only on the Braves for, I don't know, 40, 50 games.
Yeah. AL here, we're talking about Joey Gallo. No, I mean, I'll read you 2 guys. All right. I think it's fairly close, but I'll read you 2 guys. This guy's got 92 games in right field this year. 3 errors. I know we're going to bring it back to something we like here. Errors. He's got 3 errors in 92 games. 5 runs prevented, 6 outs above average, and a 3% success rate added. The next guy's got 92 games, same amount of games, no errors, not a single error, prevented 6 runs, 7 outs above average, and 4 success rate added. Who was a better player, a better fielder that year?
I'd go with the second guy, but it sounds like it's pretty close.
Right. I would also go with the second guy. It is pretty close, but just Max Kepler had the same amount of games in right field, didn't commit an error.
That's a very old school stat. Apparently, errors now, but yeah, they still matter.
And he was better with the other advanced statistics as well. Again, by a very, very slim margin. Don't have a problem with it going to Joey Gallo, but I have a problem with it because if Max Kepler was Joey Gallo, it would have been given to Max Kepler. You know,
Yeah.
I want the guy to win that deserves it. And that's why almost every position I've had an argument, because even if they're just slightly better, it's like, well, why not just give it to the best? Like, I don't care if they're just slightly better. It's whoever did the best. That's the whole point.
The offense bleeds into it a little too much.
I mean, it's not like the guy who comes in second gets anything, so we should give it, you know, as much as we can give it to the best fielder. In the National League, I don't get this one. I don't get this at all. I mean, Duvall only
I
played
don't either. Adam
77
Duvall,
games at
I
right
always
field.
see him as a straight up slugger,
Yeah,
not anybody who's. I always saw him as a defensive liability.
as have I. And he only played 77 games at right field. Had a run prevented, an out above average, and a success rate added. He's got ones across the board. And I'll tell you, first off, I want to shout out to Mike Yastrzemski, who did really well in 115 games. He could, I think, he wins next year. Book it.
Yeah.
But believe it or not a lot of bias here. Going through it, I was shocked. This guy's another defensive liability you think of. I think Juan Soto should have won a Gold Glove award.
Wow.
In 144 games, so almost completely doubling what Duvall spent in right field, which we've seen has mattered, and I completely understand it. Soto played one of the most games in right, 4 runs prevented, 4 outs above average, 2 success rate added. He was an above average defender last year. His errors were very low, and he had decent arm metrics too. I don't think there's a lot of talent in right field this year. I don't think he'll win it going forward. I don't think he's a great defender, but I think this year he happened to be the best.
Yeah, right field is where they always say you throw your worst player out in right field. It's the same thing true in Little League, and it, I guess, lives all the way up to the pros.
Well, I don't know if Soto's their worst player, but I completely understand what you're saying.
Aside from Soto,
Mm-hmm.
your worst defensive player, as I should say.
The worst, 100%.
Soto has improved dramatically in that regard.
I guess he has. Yeah, I was actually
yeah.
really. I was one of the things I was most surprised about as saying Soto possibly could have won a Gold Glove.
Yeah. Well, we have one position left, and that is the pitcher. In the American League from the Chicago White Sox, Dallas Keuchel won it. And then I have a huge problem with the National League winner. Pitcher Max Fried of the Atlanta Braves won it. How the hell does Marcus Stroman not win a Gold Glove there?
Can tell you.
I have never seen a pitcher field his position as well as Marcus Stroman does.
Yeah.
I don't know how he doesn't win that award. He gets slighted in everything that he can. I mean, it just I don't know. He talked about the eye test. He passes the eye test with flying colors.
Yeah. And I don't disagree with you whatsoever. Didn't go into advanced metrics for pitchers, but I did write down who I thought should have won. I was fine with the AL, and I'm not really gonna.
Yeah.
I understand it. NL, no, 100%. I don't think it should have been Fried. Fried's very athletic. He's a freak with athleticism. But Stroman, I mean, he's just known as a good fielding pitcher. And like, if you've watched any games, he's filthy.
You drop a bunt on him, you're not getting a hit. I mean, he played shortstop in college, so I mean, he has that background. So you want to jump into some of the individual awards?
In a hot second, I want to do something first. I just want to go over platinum first.
Yeah. I was trying to jump that because Correa's in there, and I don't know how you feel, but go ahead.
Like Correa won platinum.
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot.
Correa and Arenado.
So ridiculous, by the way.
That's what I was trying to jump it.
Oh my God, that's so stupid. Anyway, the two. I'll give you the Gold Glove Award winner that should have won platinum that actually got a Gold Glove. Matt Chapman, far and away better than Correa this year. Yeah. Give it to Matt Chapman. And if you don't want to give it to Matt Chapman, give it to fucking Nicky Lopez, who was the best defender in baseball. In the NL, who fucking won in the NL?
Nolan Arenado.
Really? Okay. That's name brand. I think Lindor should have won a Platinum Glove Award, didn't even win a Gold Glove. And if not, I think you could have given it to Harrison Bader, who was a center fielder and a lead to his position. But
no, definitely name brand. I feel like it was one of those things where it's like, oh, who are we gonna give it to? And like, let's just go Arenado. It's a safe pick. Everybody's gonna, say, oh, okay, he won. He's got how many Gold Gloves already?
Not me. And
no, not you. You are a tough critic, and that's what we're doing it for.
I'm taking it a step further, Sean. Okay, because I don't know if you noticed, the teams got Gold Glove awards this year. Okay.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. All right. I don't know if that happens every year.
Yeah. I didn't think that was a thing.
In the AL, whatever. Astros, sure, they had a good defense.
Yeah.
I don't care. In the NL, and we're going to get into some bias here. We'll get into a little bit of bias here. Cardinals, I'm not going to make the argument they should not have won, but I'm going to make the argument the Dodgers should have.
Okay. All right.
Dodgers, okay, they did it. You know, Cardinals may be better individually. They have 5 guys and 1 Gold Glove awards, but the Dodgers have no holes at all. Not a single hole. Dylan Carlson is about the only bad defender on either team. Okay, there's no bad defender. There's no position on the Dodgers where you're like, that's a defensive liability. Every position is Gold Glove type. Cody in center is Gold Glove type. Chris or AJ in left, Gold Glove type. Mookie, I don't got to say anything. Justin Turner, don't got to speak. Corey Seager, no words being said. Okay, who we got at second? Chris Taylor. If AJ's in left, don't got to say nothing. First base, Max Muncy. I'm not speaking anymore. And behind the plate, Will Smith is perfectly fine. And if not, Austin Barnes is one of the best defensive catchers. I get it. Cardinals are stacked. I believe the fielding percentages were .723 to .714. That's not the fielding percentages. That is, I forget what numbers those were. Those were metrics. Whatever metric it was, the Dodgers were leading by about .7. Okay? So you know what? The Dodgers should have won.
And Major League Baseball is currently changing the team as we speak. All right. So I want to hop over to Manager of the Year.
Sure, we can do that.
All right. Well, to continue your favorite teams winning awards, the National League Manager of the Year was none other than Gabe Kapler, who was quite unceremoniously fired and let go by the Philadelphia Phillies. And I guess he's turned that around pretty quick. So he led the Giants to their best record ever, 107 wins, best record in all of baseball this year. That's kind of a no-brainer for me, especially a team that wasn't expected to win or even make the playoffs or compete for their division, and they won it. But yeah, I feel like that's pretty much a no-brainer. You got any thoughts on that one?
No, that was a good pick.
Yeah, it's tough for you to say. So in the American League, we have Kevin Cash won it 2 years in a row. And I believe that's the first time it's been done since Bobby Cox did it in the 90s and early 2000s with the Atlanta Braves. Back-to-back 100-plus win seasons, or maybe 100 win seasons. Either way, at least 100 games were won. I agree with this pick as well. There's really not a whole lot to, that happened with the Rays aside from their playoff failures, but that doesn't factor into their the decision here.
I disagree. I don't like it. I don't like the pick.
You don't like it? All right. Who would you rather see in there?
There's 2 people. I think Mr. Cash should have came in third, if you're asking me.
Really?
I think who should have came in second? I wish I had a toothpick. Dusty Baker.
Baker.
Dusty should have came in second. Let's not forget, Astros were under 500 last year. Okay?
They were.
This was their first year back with fans since the scandal. So this was it seems like it's so delayed, but this was the tumultuous year with them. And again, they did not perform, they stuck into the playoffs because everybody and their mothers did, but they were, I think, 29 and 31 last year. And they certainly were not, a 500 ball club this year in the regular season, and they went deep into the playoffs, obviously. So I think bringing in Dusty was a great move. Yeah, and I think he certainly he righted the ship. So I just based on impact, I think Dusty Baker should have been the second. And I don't think it was close. I think the AL Manager of the Year was Scott Service. That's projected to go 70 and 92. No one thought they were good. They had a 0% chance by Pacoda to win the division. Not that they did. And Shawnee. Let's get real here. They won 33 one-run games. How many one-run games do you got to win? That's managing right there. That's they're not crazy wins. They're one-run games. These are decisions factor into one-run games. I know 100%.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like that those guys. I think they were second and third. don't know which order it was exactly. But I think 100 wins, man.
I get you. I just don't know how much
Call me
Kevin
old
Cash.
school,
I
but
don't know how much Kevin Cash. I mean, Mariners had 90 wins and they suck.
they're going to be a team to look out for this offseason. They actually said they're going to spend money, which is such a foreign concept for the Seattle Mariners, and they have a good young base. We'll get into that down the line this offseason.
Listen, I gotta have a different opinion. If I have the same opinion, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's it.
So let's move to Rookie of the Year.
Now,
Shall we?
I don't wanna tickle your balls a little bit too much, Sean. I got two things to say to you. First off,
Yeah, go ahead.
the number that I gave, 0.723 to 0.714, that was defensive efficiency. I just don't want our fans going home like these just good numbers at me. I don't even know what they mean. Defensive efficiency. Dodgers were the best. Cardinals were the second best. Astros were the third best. Very, very close at the top. That's all I got to say. The other thing about tickling your balls. Now, we're not talking about offense today. No silver sluggers getting in the mix.
Oh, I thought we will. I thought we would just kind of mix it up a little bit with some individual award winners.
Go Indies. Go in. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to tickle your balls.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We're just a free form flowing podcast. And,
that's it. Rookie of the Year. I'm ready.
Rookie. We'll do the rookie years, and then we'll jump down to the Silver Slugger Awards. How does that sound?
That makes me very happy.
I'm very glad to hear that. So from the National League, we got Jonathan India of the Cincinnati Reds. He was kind of the odds-on favorite to win it by the end of the year. He deserved it. Passes my eye test because that's high standard. Second baseman. I think that one of the bright spots for the Cincinnati Reds, who are going to be shedding a lot of payroll this offseason.
Right. Here we go again. I'm fine with India winning it. I think he should have won it. I'm not going to say he shouldn't have won. I think India was the NL Rookie of the Year, but I don't think it was clear cut. Not as clear cut as it was. I think it should have been a lot closer. I think this was a very, very close race. Trevor Rogers, absolute animal this year. Season cut a little short. I'm trying to pull up his stats really quick, but I mean, I think Trevor Rogers is the better player long term. That's my take. Yeah. I have him on my Fantrax team. A little biased there.
Yeah.
Picked him up early in the year, did quite well for me. But we're talking 2.64 ERA in 133 innings, 25 games started as a rookie. A 2.6, Sean, in 130 innings. That's a good amount of innings. 25 games started as a rookie. I mean, India blew it out of the park. His OBP, I think, was up near 370, which is insanity. Had a beautiful year. But in a lot of – I think it should have been closer because 2.56, man, I mean, that's crazy. But both deserving of it. But India, no problem. No qualms.
No, I agree. Rogers was my second choice, I guess you would say, if I had a vote, which, as I mentioned before, we do not, unfortunately, but one day maybe.
And that's a problem.
Yeah. In the American League, we had none other than Randy Arozarena. I swear this guy's been in the league for 20 years at this point.
Right.
Apparently, he was still a rookie. That is pretty much a no-brainer. And basically, the runner-up was his teammate Wander Franco. So, I mean, I don't know if you have any issues with Arozarena winning it, but I certainly don't.
I do.
You do? Okay. Yeah. All right.
I don't know how you're shocked at this point, Sean. You should just ask what your problem is.
I was expecting it.
Looked at Arozarena. Okay. Looked at Adolis Garcia. Okay. I think they were very similar. I think Arozarena had a little bit better of a year, rate stats wise. Mm-hmm. I took a look at Luis Garcia. Had a decent year. 3.5 ERA. Ate up a lot of innings. Was very good as a rookie. Okay. I think they were all pretty close. Could have went to anybody.
Yeah.
But then I looked at Emmanuel Clase, and I know it's weird for a reliever, but I'm sorry, I don't think it's close. I think Emmanuel Clase is your AL Rookie of the Year.
Oh, I mean, this guy with those stats.
This guy was dominant. You want me to hit you? I'll hit you with the stats, Sean. I'll hit you with it. Let's see. Emmanuel Clase. 2 home runs allowed, okay, in about 70 innings pitched, and a 1.29 ERA. All right, this was not. I think we'll get into it later as we get into reliever of the year. Little hint, but I don't think this was. And I think this is what you'd have to do to be a rookie of the year as a reliever. I think this guy was probably the reliever of the year for the AL.
Yeah.
71 games pitched in, 1.29 ERA, 70 innings pitched, 74 Ks, and only 2 homers allowed, Sean, with 16 walks. So his walk rate, it's not like he came in and his strikeout to walk rate was crazy because he doesn't have control yet. This guy was flat out dominant, like just flat out dominant. He didn't get save chances the whole year, which sucked, but he had 24 saves, which I don't know how much you care about that. At this point, I'm starting to care a little bit less because they're using high leverage relievers in different situations, not only save situations. I think Clase, the other guys were okay. They were like, oh, they're okay for rookies. Clase was dominant for any time in your career. Clase was dominant for his prime.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, he should have been rookie of the year for sure. 70 innings pitched too, Sean, is not small for a reliever. You know, that's
No, not at all.
1.29 on him, Shawnee. It's a year. And no love.
That is
I
a
think
year.
he came in 4th. I get the reliever thing, but I don't know, man. This is a different type of reliever. This is dominance.
I don't know how to come back with that, you know.
Yeah. There you go.
That's an outstanding analysis. That's all I can say.
I appreciate it.
You're doing a hell of a job. So you want to move over to the Silver Slugger Awards? Do you want me to do the same thing we did with Gold Gloves? Do you want me to just read the whole list and you can give me any guys that stand out to you?
You know what? You're on the money today, Sean. I don't know how you do it, what you do. We don't talk pregame. Silver Slugger, I think a little bit less problems. Gold Glove, almost every position had a problem. Silver Slugger, it was here and there. So if you want to start reading them down, I'll hit you with a hand to the face when we need to stop.
Okay. All right. So let's start with the American League. We got at catcher, Salvador Perez.
100%. Fantabulous.
Yeah, absolute great player. He's kind of redeveloped his career in a sense. He's more of a power hitter than he ever has been before.
Last 2 years have been crazy.
Yeah. And then at first base, none other than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. from the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, I mean, there's a clear and obvious other person. I mean, that guy is filthy. No qualms. He'll be on my Fantrax team soon.
Yeah.
Trade's coming.
Okay. All right. And at second base, also from the Blue Jays, we have Marcus Semien. Stop. Okay.
Don't have an issue with this. Marcus Semien was the Silver Slugger. However, I got to give a shout out to one of the most underrated players. Whit Merrifield, 184 hits.
Yeah.
42 doubles and 40 bags. Woo! Whit.
Always underrated.
42 doubles, 40 bags with the most hits as a second baseman. Looking at different metrics, like if you're not just looking at homers, like if you take your homers and move them over to stolen bases, and I know that they're not equal, but
yeah.
Whit had a shot, is all I'm going to say. Whit had a real good shot at winning Silver Slugger. In a different world, Whit wins it. But beautiful year by Whit.
He's extremely underrated, and I guess playing in Kansas City when they are not good doesn't help. Yeah. But he's a very good player. All right, so from there we move over to third base to Rafael Devers of the Boston Red Sox. I'm seeing a hand raise. Okay, go ahead.
You know me and Devers. I mean, we're just buddy. I love the kid.
Coffee.
But as much as I love Devers, Jose Ramirez should have won this award. I mean, they had almost the same exact, regular metrics where you're talking, homers, doubles, RBIs, all that stuff is the same. But Jose Ramirez also had 27 bags, just on top of it.
You don't think of him as a guy who could steal bases, but he
No,
does.
he's a little bit chub, and that does a lot for me. And
Yeah.
regardless, if Jose had no bags, I'd like to point out something to you. And this is what really gets to me. Jose's strikeout to walk rate, 72 walks, 87 strikeouts. To me, actually got a little bit hard just reading those numbers. Okay. He only had basically 10 or 15 more strikeouts than walks. No, not
He's an
even.
old school player.
I can't read numbers. You know what I'm saying. Devers 62 strikeouts to 143. 62 walks to 143 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Okay. That's about average, believe it or not now. But
Yeah.
I mean, Jose's almost 1-to-1. That's dominance, man.
That's speaking of underrated. Jose Ramirez is one of the most underrated players in all of baseball, and he's likely going to be on the move at some point, maybe even this offseason.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. I'm quickly trying to pull up their other stats just so you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. So doubles, 37 for Devers, 32 for Jose. Homers, 38 for Devers, 36 for Jose. Runs, 100 for Devers, 110 for Jose. RBIs, 113 for Devers, 103 for Jose. Average 279 to 266. OBP 352 to 355. Almost undiscernible. Yeah. But the only difference is 27 bags to 5 and 87 strikeouts to 143. So for me, I mean, that's just clear cut. Jose had a better year.
No, I agree. I agree with you. Well, it should be interesting to see if he gets traded this offseason.
Yeah.
All right, so another Red Sox, shortstop Xander Bogaerts, X-Man. Got no qualms with that?
That's double hands, Sean. I'm sorry.
Double hands. Okay, you were just drinking. I wasn't sure. I didn't see the hands there first.
This one's probably the biggest snub of them all. This is not close, folks. This ain't close. And I love Bogey too. But Bo Bichette.
Yeah.
Bo Bichette. Shawnee, we're gonna do the game we like to play. I'm gonna read your stats. Okay.
Go ahead.
And you're gonna tell me who the better player was. Okay. In 148 games, this guy had 104 runs, 155 hits, 34 doubles, 26 bombs, 92 RBIs, 116 strikeouts, 279 average, 366 OBP. Guy number 2. 159 games, 121 runs, 191 hits, 30 doubles, 29 homers, 102 RBIs, 137 strikeouts, 25 stolen bases. Last guy had 5, and a 298 average with a 343 OBP.
I'd take the second guy every day.
Yeah. No, about 50 more hits, 20 more runs, 3 more homers, 10 more RBIs, 25 more stolen bases. I don't know, 20 points in average. What's the qualm everybody else is having here? Bo Bichette was just far and away. He had a better regular offensive year than Bogey, and then threw 25 bags on. Like, we just fucking bags now? I don't understand this. It's back to back.
I guess maybe the issue is he wasn't only a shortstop, maybe? I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
I don't agree with anything the world's told me today. This is ridiculous.
No, I don't disagree.
Bichette really is your silver slugger. Don't forget it, folks.
He's yours, he's mine, he's our silver slugger.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the outfield, another Blue Jay, Teoscar Hernandez.
You know how I feel about him.
All right, no qualms here.
Oh, that was a qualm, yeah. The other 2 guys who won, which was Aaron Judge and
Cedric Mullins.
Cedric Mullins and Aaron Judge all day, every day, even on a Sunday. 100% agree. The 3 and 4 spot need to be flipped here. Kyle Tucker, absolutely snubbed from Teoscar. Yep. Kyle Tucker, 37 doubles, 30 bombs, 53 walks to 90 strikeouts, 29 doubles, 32 bombs, 36 walks to 148 strikeouts. Average and stolen base, very similar, around 290 and about 12 to 15 bags. I mean, it's just not close. Tucker is just, strikeouts matter to me. So I don't know. He had more doubles by almost 10 and 2 less homers with a an immensely better strike, 53-90 to 36-148. I mean, that's not close. The value in that to me is like insurmountable because that means he's putting the ball in play that many more times. It just, I don't know. I can't do
No,
it.
I absolutely agree. I also value low strikeouts a lot, and you and I are both old school with that. But yeah, no, I understand what your arguments for sure. So you're not totally crazy in that regard.
Not totally.
Not totally. And then from the DH, Shohei Ohtani. No qualms on that one whatsoever. I imagine so. All right, let's move over to the National League. We have at catcher from the San Francisco Giants, recently retired, Buster Posey.
Not close. Wish it was. Not close.
Yeah, I know. Then at first base, we have from the Atlanta Braves, the world champion Atlanta Braves, Freddie Freeman.
Not close. I'm happy it wasn't.
And at second base, also from the Atlanta Braves, there's a theme here, Ozzie Albies. And that is a forceful hand.
Trey Turner. And this ain't biased because I am not happy with the guy right now.
Yeah.
Okay?
I mean, how many games did he play as second compared to short?
I don't know.
That might have been a factor.
I didn't think about it. Go on to the next one I got.
Okay. All right.
But he's got to be eligible somewhere.
He's probably eligible at shortstop.
Well, then I'd have to reassess. He might be the.
Yeah. Anyway, another Atlanta Brave, third baseman Austin Riley.
I don't like him. I want to be frank about that. Don't really like him. He played 49 games at second and 98 games at short.
Yeah.
The qualms dissipating.
Yeah.
However, I don't think Ozzie was even the second best second baseman, if I remember correctly. But I'm not going to get into it now. Whatever.
All right, and then at shortstop from the San Diego Padres, Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, and that's not the name I wanted to hear to be able to have a qualm. I'm going to throw Trey Turner in here, though. Trey Turner should not have beaten Fernando Tatis. He got a little fucked in the ass. Is what happened with Trey Turner. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just. This is Ozzie's year. 103 runs, 163 hits, 40 doubles. Fantastic, by the way. 7 triples, 30 bombs, 106 RBIs, 47 walks, 128 strikeouts, 20 bags, 259, and a 310 OBP. 310 OBP, by the way, is fairly low. No, I'm not a fan of that.
He doesn't get on base a lot, other than a hit. He doesn't walk often. Strikes out a lot.
Trey Turner, 107 runs, 195 hits, 34 doubles, 3 triples, 28 bombs out of Trey Turner, 77 ribs, top of the order guy, 41 and 110 for strikeout rate, 32 bags, 328 and a 375 OBP. 328, 375 OBP. This guy got MVP votes. I mean, Trey Turner had a crazy year. I guess the reason I shouldn't have qualms, he didn't really have eligibility at a position, but that sucks. I mean, that's not fair.
If he doesn't get traded, he might be Tatis at shortstop.
Right. That's what and I think Tatis had a better year. That's why I'm not going to have qualms, but I got to shout this guy out. He should have won a Silver Slugger at shirt at least. I mean, get
absolutely at shirt.
Up the middle. Do something with him.
I play up the middle though. Anyway, so after Tatis, we have Juan Soto of the Nationals in the outfield.
No qualm.
No qualms there, yeah. You saw him hit a majestic home run against the Mets, by the way. Ball got out in a hurry. Maybe we'll insert the video right here, just to give Dan extra work.
His team sucks.
2 more to go. How do you feel?
Yeah,
With the,
and I just did. I just did.
I'm just messing with you. Anyway, other outfield position is Bryce Harper of the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll get to him later, unfortunately. Then the final outfield position from the Cincinnati Reds, Nick, deep drive to left field, Castellanos. Qualm, go ahead.
Brian Reynolds, I think, was snubbed. I think it's very close. I think it's very. I shouldn't have put the emphasis on snub. I think it's very, very close. But I got Brian Reynolds. I do. I'll tell you how close it is, though. 93 runs to 95 runs, 169 to 164 hits, 35 doubles, 38 doubles, 8 triples, 24 bombs to 1 triple, 34 bombs, 90 RBIs to 100 RBIs. Walks and strikeouts, very similar. Stolen bases, almost the same. Average 302 to 309. OBP 390 to 362. That 390 OBP is fucking batshit crazy. Not that 362 isn't bad. But that's Brian Reynolds was the top guy. It's unbelievably close. I just think I would have loved. I wish there was 4. I think Brian Reynolds deserved his Silver Slugger this year. I think if he won over Castellanos, I'd probably give you a qualm and say Castellanos should have won. But I gotta say Brian Reynolds.
Another underrated player, Brian Reynolds. And then Silver Slugger in the pitching position is Max Fried of the Rays. What is up with Max Fried stealing awards away from Mets pitchers? I mean, Jacob DeGrom. I know he didn't play.
Come on.
I know he didn't have a full
Tell me
season.
about Trey Turner. This guy, did you hear? Tell me about Trey Turner. Did you hear?
Jacob DeGrom. Jacob DeGrom has had almost as many RBIs as earned runs.
I don't want to hear you fucking bullshit. What is so he pitched well? I don't care about his pitching.
He hit really well too. He had like a 330 average.
He hit all right, yeah.
Yeah.
He had the 3rd best hits in the league. You know who else had the 3rd most hits in the league? Julio Urias. Okay. Go along with 2 doubles to DeGrom's 1, 9 RBIs to DeGrom's 6. Okay? How about we talk about that? You want to get into stats? Sure, we'll get into stats. Urias scored 5 runs. DeGrom scored 4. I don't want to hear your boosh. Your boosh.
Oh, excuse me. DeGrom would have put up better numbers had he not get injured. All right.
Well, I didn't cause DeGrom's injury. Okay.
If you did, I wouldn't be able to talk to you. That just would not be a thing.
Max Fried, I think, looking at his stats, he kind of deserved it. But I got to say, shout out Herman Marquez, though. 5 doubles, a homer, and 9 ribs. Okay.
Yeah.
With 14 hits. His average in OBP was a little low at 264 apiece. Didn't really walk much. But shout out Herman Marquez and always shout out Julio Urias. 3rd best hitter in the National League this year. DeGrom was 4th.
Okay. Well, I think we'll just agree to disagree. Anyway, let's move back into our, I guess we could call it Big 4 or Big 2 awards, MVP and Cy Young. Let's start with the Cy Young, if that's okay with you.
No. Can we go over the Hank Aaron Awards real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
I noticed that Hank Aaron went to 1 MVP, and the other one went to Vladdy. So Harper and Vladdy got the Hank Aaron Awards.
Yeah.
Now the one thing I guess that's more so for when we talk about MVP.
I have a potential hot take when we get to the MVP. Just saying.
Okay. Yeah, I'll save that for MVP. Ohtani got the Players' Choice Award. Thought that was pretty cool. I like to see that. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. No, not really. I mean, he's doing both, pitching, hitting. Does he still play the outfield once in a while?
Not really as much. I'd like to see it. I'd love to see it.
Well, that makes it even better. I mean, the fact he's doing both now anyway, DHing and pitching is pretty wild. Yeah. But yeah, I have no qualms with that.
Yeah, no qualms with either award.
Yeah.
Either. And the only other mini award I want to go over before we get to the final 2 is Reliever of the Year.
Yeah.
AL was Liam Hendricks, I believe. Again, shout out Emmanuel Clase. I think he should have won Reliever of the Year. 2 homers and a 1.29 and 71 innings. Liam had 10 homers and a 2.54, and I think 71 innings, same amount of innings. Liam had 30-something saves, and Clase had 24. If you're going off saves, I get it. I think Clase was the best reliever in the AL. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to speak on it anymore. Name brand there, I think, Liam. Shout out in the NL, shout out Tyler Rogers. Most reliever innings in the NL this year. I think Hader should have won. Hader was pretty filthy. 80 innings out of Tyler Rogers and the lowest walk rate by far. And his ERA, I think, was like 2 point something, lower than Hader's too. But Hader was obviously used in different situations. But Tyler Rogers, a little submariner for the Giants.
Yeah.
I think he was probably a big part of their success, getting 80 innings out of a reliever like that. So just some consideration. Could have won for sure.
I have no qualms with that. Josh Hader at this point, the award should almost be named after him in the National League. 3-time winner.
Yeah.
But it seems like the Brewers always want to trade him in the offseason. I don't know why. But it's Milwaukee. So do we now want to move over to Cy Young?
Oh yeah.
So let's start in the National League.
Sure. Well, they got it wrong. Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. Corbin Burns of the Milwaukee Brewers won the award. He had a major league leading ERA of 2.43 and a strikeout rate of 35.6. He didn't win it by much. I believe he got 12 out of the 30 votes, I believe. Just won it over Zach Wheeler of the Philadelphia Phillies. Obviously, we got a potential qualm here coming our way. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not outraged by it at all. I do think he, put it this way, I think he should have won. But the fact it was close was not surprising. I actually am surprised that Wheeler was the second place ahead of Scherzer. But yeah, Corbin Burns winning, I don't really have too much of an issue with it. I would have been fine with Scherzer or even Zach Wheeler winning it. But yeah, that's what I think. Corbin Burns, deserving.
I got qualms.
Go ahead.
I got qualms. I think Urias only getting a couple fifth place votes was, first off, absolutely ridiculous. Shouldn't have won, but Urias was probably, I think. I don't know. Maybe he was fifth, but he should get all the fifth place votes if you're going to say that he's fifth. I don't know. Maybe it's. I think Buehler was a Cy Young this year, and I really haven't heard much. I don't think it was close. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to read you.
Let's say you got the stats. Yeah.
So Burns was 11-5 with a 2.43.
Mm-hmm.
Buehler's 16-4 with a 2.47. Okay, I know wins don't mean anything anymore, but I feel like that's almost the same stat line if you don't care about wins. 2.43 to 2.47, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, 33 games started to 28. Obviously, Buehler had more. Buehler had 207 innings. Corbin had 167. To me, that completely swings in Buehler's favor. You know, you had, how many more innings is that, Sean? 40-something?
Yeah.
With the same ERA? 40 with the same ERA. What's the qualm? First off, just based off that, 52 walks and 212 strikeouts to 34 walks and 234 strikeouts. The second one was Burns. Burns had more strikeouts. Burns was more dominant over his 167. But innings pitched count. I mean, Buehler threw 207 innings pitched. Their whips were almost identical. Hitters hit better, worse off Buehler, 199 to 201. Again, identical.
Yeah.
It's not like they were hitting better or getting on base more for either one of them. Buehler just had more innings and had the same run prevention production over more games and innings. I don't get it. I mean, Scherzer had a 2.46, which was one below Scherzer, but in 3 less games started and 180 innings pitched, or 179 instead of 207. I don't know. To me, that's Buehler.
I gotta be honest with you. I didn't realize Buehler had that solid of numbers.
Wheeler was the next guy with like if you're gonna go to innings pitched, it was 213, but that's only one more game. But he had a 278, so he really backed up. I mean, Buehler's within 0.04 ERA 40 more innings in the same run prevention. I don't know. I see it as Bueller all day.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he had that those close numbers to Corbin Burns. If I gotta be honest, but I agree. I hadn't really seen any conversation whatsoever about Walker Bueller. I don't know how many votes he got, if any.
He
I'm
got.
sure he
I
had.
think he came in third or fourth, but I don't know, man. I think he should have got a lot of first place votes. Maybe not all of them,
Yeah.
but he should have got some of them for sure.
No, I agree with you. You know, your argument is very persuasive. I
Appreciate
props
that.
to you on that one.
I give it a yank.
Yeah, fantastic job. All right, so let's move over to the American League, where the winner was Robbie Ray. Now, before we get into this, if I told you, let's say 2 years ago, the Cy Young Award winners for each respective league would be Robbie Ray and Corbin Burns, what would you have said?
What is it? What, a Clayton die?
Yeah.
Robbie Ray,
mean,
great strikeout guy, but man, he can't put the ball together. I mean, he can't get consistency. He can't throw strikes, man. He hit too many homers, which he still did this year, by the way. But he just had other run prevention.
Yeah.
But I would disagree with you. I'm getting Fox, man. My footsies are getting cold.
Okay. All right.
Continue. I hear you.
Well, it's pretty cold in space, so.
I had the airlock on, Sean, and it was getting bad. Please continue, though. Please don't stop.
Yeah. Robbie Ray, let's dive into his season. Well, he led the majors in strikeouts with 248, and also the American League with a 2.84 ERA. Had 193 in the third innings, and he's the first Toronto pitcher, since Roy Halladay in 2003 to win the Cy Young Award. I'm not really sure how the voting played out here, who finished in second and third and all that. But do you have any qualms with Robbie Ray winning the American League Cy Young Award?
No qualms.
No qualms. Okay,
No
wow.
qualms.
That is a rarity, folks. Dan
Yep.
doesn't have any issue with the Cy Young Award winner. Neither do I. I think Robbie Ray was deserving. I think Robbie Ray is going to get a pretty big contract this offseason and then return closer to his old self? Yes, I do. I don't think he carries us out again, kind of like Corbin Burns. I think they both come back down to earth. But I think Robbie Ray comes down to earth a little faster and a little harder than Corbin Burns does. Just my opinion.
I like your
You want
balls.
to move over to the the MVPs?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever, man. Whatever you want to do today.
Let's start in the National League with you and I's favorite player, Bryce Harper. I wish I could make an argument against him getting the MVP, but there's not much of an argument, in my opinion, to be made against him getting MVP.
You know, Sean, and I'm gonna give it not an attempt, but I mean, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do something. You know, the first thing I'll say, and I gotta shout this out: Lamont Wade Jr. got an MVP vote somewhere along the line. I think it was a 10th plate vote. Whoever did that, I think that's hilarious. Love it out of you. Okay?
Lamont Wade.
I think that's wonderful. I think Lamont Wade should have got more than one MVP vote this year.
Oh my God.
I was just looking at the voting, and I thought that was just crazy. Harper should have won MVP, man. But this is the last year that a non-Soto person is going to win MVP for the next 5 years. Book it. 5 straight years. Soto MVP.
Soto actually congratulated Harper on the MVP too.
I think this was crazy close. The only reason that I think I don't have any qualms is Harper walks. Harper walks. He had 100 walks this year. He gets on base 429, Shawnee.
Yeah.
43% of the time this guy's on base. You know how crazy that is? I mean, it's not 46.5% of the time. 465 was Soto's on base. I was talking about, Trey Turner having a 375, which is 90 points less. And I was like, well, that's just an elite, which it is, by the way. That you got MVP votes. 465. half the time Soto's on base, he still hit 29 bombs. Sean, I'm gonna read you something. Hold your dick. I don't want you to get crazy here. He had 93 strikeouts this year. Okay.
Yeah.
145 walks.
And he was injured.
He
He was
had
injured.
50 more walks, almost 60 more walks than strikeouts.
I love that. I love that.
People die to have 60 more strikeouts than walks. I praised Kyle Tucker for having 40 more strikeouts than walks. That was tremendous. Tremendous, I thought. He had 60 more walks than strikeouts. Do you know how crazy that is?
That's like 1940s ball right there.
That's insanity, Sean. It's insanity. No one else does that. No one else has more walks than strikeouts. He's got 60. He is so far and away the best hitter on the planet.
Yeah.
It's not close. He also had more hits than Harper this year in less games, more runs, only 6 less homers. He had 22 less doubles. Soto also had more RBIs, 95 to 84.
Yeah, I want to touch on that. What the hell? We have an MVP with 80.
I wrote that on my
RBIs?
notes. I'm like, an MVP with 84 RBIs. When's the last time you heard of that, man?
That's I hope it is the last time I heard that. I mean, my God.
What does that mean? I feel like, things are changing, which I like and I don't. I get it.
I mean, runs are going up, right?
Yeah.
Runs per game, but yet why are the RBIs going down?
I don't know. I mean, the most RBIs was 113 with Duvall. The most RBIs to a guy you could have given it to is maybe Riley with 107. So really, I mean, there wasn't a lot. Only 6 guys were at 100 or above.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, but Soto had a real shot this year. I would not have had a qualm if Soto won.
I think it's just because he was injured. He missed some games.
But that boy's
and his team finished in last place, which unfortunately is not his fault, but that doesn't help.
But
that also didn't make the playoffs either. But
that leads into what I was going to say about the Hank Aaron Awards. Both MVP winners, Sean, losing teams. How do we feel about that? Are the tides shifting? And the reason I put this on Hank Aaron, I didn't mean to cut you off. I want to just preface this is Hank Aaron is supposed to be MVP, right? It's supposed to be the best offensive player. But people get those two mixed up. Hank Aaron is best offensive player. Cy Young is best pitcher. Has nothing to do with your winning. But it's weird because we have the 2 awards that are the best awards. We think of MVP offense, Cy Young pitching, but it's not. Cy Young's the best pitcher. MVP is the most valuable player, pitcher, or hitter. Hank Aaron is really the Cy Young, but we just, for some reason, we don't think of it like that. Hank Aaron's fine with losing teams, but MVP, we saw 2 losing teams. Are we getting rid of the Hank Aaron award is what I'm saying.
I think the MVP, I mean, in some cases, I understand where a losing team gets the award, or MVP, a player in a losing team gets it. But I think MVP's got to go to a player that makes the playoffs. I mean, I don't know. How valuable can
takes his team to a close chance at it.
How valuable can you be if your team doesn't make the playoffs? I understand if you had 95 wins and you missed out on the playoffs because your division is like insane.
Right, like I get Vladdy. He got his team to a point that was close. Ohtani didn't get his team close to a point that was close at all. And I got no qualms about him winning MVP. But
you
do.
When we get American League MVP, I'm gonna have some qualms. I will.
Listen, I'm ready. Finally, got a qualm.
Anyway, so I just think that MVP should go to a team that's at least in the hunt.
Yeah. I hear you.
Just what I'm thinking.
I hear you.
So do you want to jump to the American League MVP where I have a slight qualm?
I want to hear your qualm, Sean. You qualm it up over there.
I know you're a big Shohei Ohtani fanboy. He obviously won the American League MVP unanimously. Dan is now entered into the galaxy just from roaming around. Anyway, so do I think Ohtani deserved to win? Absolutely. Do I think it deserved to be unanimous? Absolutely not. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. All right. Maybe it's just because I value batting average and strikeouts and all that, a little like lower strikeouts, a little more than the average person. Let me throw some stats your way here.
Let's hear it.
So I'm gonna give you the traditional baseball stats. I'm old school.
I like
anyway, Vlad Guerrero Jr., 311 batting average, 110 strikeouts, which ironically or unbelievably enough is below average. So that's good in today's game. 48 home runs, 111 RBIs, 86 walks, an OBP of 401.
Woo!
Yes, 401. An OPS of 1.2. All right, over 1,000. An OPS plus of 169. And average OPS plus is about 100. All right. Then let me show you Shohei Ohtani's numbers. Then I'll get into the obvious elephant in the room after I give you his numbers because I know the response for that's going to be. All right, Ohtani, 257 batting average. Way below Vlad Jr.
Mhm.
An OBP of 372, which is outstanding as well. Not as good as Vlad, but nonetheless outstanding. 189 strikeouts. 189 strikeouts. That's a lot of strikeouts.
Right.
A lot of strikeouts in today's game. 100 RBIs, outstanding. 46 home runs, also outstanding. So, I mean, he's a very deserving player. Now, I know he has played, both positions, DH, pitching, and all that. I get that. But to me, Vlad Jr.
Not going to take his pitching into it at all, though?
Is I will. Yeah, very, good year pitching. I get that. I absolutely get that. But
he had a whole nother season other than what you just read.
But I know. I will get into the pitching. Don't worry. Baseball Reference just wasn't loading. That's why I stopped. If I'm being honest. But come on, first of all, Vlad was on a team that just missed out on the playoffs. Shohei was on a team that was out of the playoffs in April. I mean, I'm okay with him winning. I am. I absolutely understand it. But the fact that Vlad got not a single vote is just asinine to me. Asinine. That's my qualm.
Hey, listen.
Once Ohtani's stats will get going here, I can help you out there. But
I respect your qualm.
Yeah,
I do respect your qualm.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows, I wasn't trying, and I'm also going to take time here so I can get these stats up. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful by going into the void and moving while he was giving his one and only qualm today. Okay, I have class at 12:20. It's currently 12:20. I'm also 10 minutes away from my school, so I am on a time crunch, shorter than you guys.
Okay. Do we want to call the?
At this point, you might have called it a day on the class. But I'll end up going late 30 minutes. Listen, Sean, I'm here for you guys out here. We're here for you. I got to hear this qualm. Finish it out. Take it. Don't even worry about me. I just wanted the fans to know I care about what you're saying.
That pretty much is my qualm.
Okay. I love it. I don't disagree with your qualm.
Well, thank you.
Your qualm is heard. Your qualm is understood. I love you.
Yeah.
You don't love me as well as what you just
No,
said.
I love you as well. I do. There's a lot of love on this podcast.
All right. Oh, it's all love here. It's all love. Yeah. No, it's in general. It's. I had a lot of qualms today.
Yeah.
I just.
We love you for it.
I don't even know what to say anymore, Sean. You take this wherever you want. If you need another 45 minutes, you take it.
I think we covered everything pretty well.
There was a good amount of news that came out, I guess. I feel like we got so deep into this podcast to put news at the end of this would almost be unnecessary because they're not going to – I don't know if they're going to be listening to it at this point.
Yeah, no, there's a good chance no one heard my qualm today and just thought that I was, sitting on my hands.
Unqualmed over there.
Yeah, no, I think we save the news for the next episode, even if that is, 2 weeks after the news took place or whatever. But this will be
next
the
episode.
Friday news dump.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of news, and then that'll be good because we'll have a lot of cumulative news to talk about, enough to maybe even have a whole episode about, which will be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope you guys appreciate an hour and 20 minutes in that. Now we're just scheduling our next podcast while you guys are forcibly listening. So I'm not editing this out. So this is just behind the scenes access. I know you guys want to put on the Patreon probably next time. This is exclusive stuff now.
Yeah, we should do a Patreon. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, follow us at the 10th inning on Instagram, 10th inning pod on YouTube, I believe. Like, subscribe, comment, tell us we suck, tell us we're great, tell us things we could do better, tell us things we can do well, tell us we're ugly, tell us we're handsome. I don't care. Just leave a comment. And we'll respond.
Let me know how you feel about my haircut, and put all your qualms down below.
Exactly.
Everyone that watches this, drop at least one qualm. I want
Absolutely.
one qualm. It
And
could be about like potatoes. I don't care what your qualm is.
back to your hair. Is that a skin fade?
Well, Sean, where we went today is this is a half to a one.
Okay.
Half to a
See,
one.
I'm a skin fade to I think it's a skin to a one and then to a part.
I'm not
messy.
cool.
So I need a cut soon. Anyway,
But I just got this yesterday. How do you feel about it?
it looks fantastic. It looks out of this world. Get it?
The beard's been getting so long, so I'm doing the no shave and the November. Getting ready for the spec. At this point, I'm just dragging this out as long as I can. And it looks terrible with the long hair. With the short hair, at least I feel like short hair, long beard, we get somewhere with it.
No, see, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been episode 10 of the 10th Inning Podcast. He's Dan. I'm Sean, and we are officially the qualmiest podcast out there.
It's for the qualms, babes. It's for the qualms.